everybody, welcome back to another Slimefun tutorial here on my channel. I'm your host Boomer. Today we're going to take a look at electric spawners. Electric spawners are really cool because they don't require a player to be within range. You can power these things up and walk away, kill them in any way, shape, or form you want when the mobs drop, so you can collect your drops, whether from height, lava, or whatever else you want to do. Now by default, I believe there's 27 powered spawners, electric spawners in the config. Server owners, you can add or remove any of the mobs that you want. For example, I went in a test and I was able to add a frog and actually have the mobs spawn. So I guess it kind of gets me wondering, can I do this with the Ender Dragon? Gonna have to find out. I'll leave that up to you to take a look. Now, as far as crafting these, they're all relatively simple. They start with a reinforced spawner. Reinforced spawner can be made of one of two ways. You can either build a broken spawner through soul jars and reinforce it, or one that you've mined out in the world with a pickaxe of containment. Then you turn it into a reinforced spawner, and then from there you can see the remaining recipe. It is a little expensive in core Slimefun, but again, you're talking at a spawner you can turn on and off at will. They are subject to the entity mob cap, so anytime you have 6 mobs or more in a 9x3x9 centered on a spawner, the mobs will not spawn. Now, just to get us started, I built a old-fashioned iron golem farm. We're going to use the spawners. I've got the energy connectors above, and I'm going to power it here in just a second. Now, you're going to see a flaw with this design. So let's go ahead and turn it on. They're already all turned on. As soon as they get power, they'll start spawning. And I think you can quickly see the flaw with this type of thinking and design is that the mobs don't move. Right? A normal spawner, the mobs can spawn up to 4 blocks away from the spawner. The problem with electric spawners is the mobs spawn right on top. And until they decide to move, get knocked off, whatever, and then also not have the correct number of mobs in that mob cap, they're not going to spawn. And so we've got a slight problem here with the design. And so I've actually built a better design that you could use. And the nice thing about this is you could set up tons of them in a very small space. You'll notice this is all I've got here is a 5 by essentially 3 chamber, and I probably could have even gone 1 block lower. Let's turn this one on. You'll see what'll happen is the water will push the mobs out of the way, and it's fast enough to where we never have to worry about hitting the mob cap. You could do this with any type of mob. Now the iron golems tend to be just a tad bit slower just because of how big they are, and well, they're iron. They're pretty hefty. So it just takes a minute to get going. But here's the thing now, if I've got some type of killing system, whether it's lava, whether I've got, tridents being shot at them, whatever I'm doing to kill them, I now have a massively insane mob grinder. And it won't be just for iron golems. It could be any of the mobs that you can configure. Now, I'm sure there are other ways where you could do a piston push, you could do a slime block push, any number of things could work. As long as you get the mobs off the spawner, that's all that matters. Then get them to fall, get them out of range of your killing chamber. So remember I said 9x3x9 if there's up to 6 mobs. So legitimately, if I were to send these 9 wide, the one in the center is going to detect 9, right? So as soon as 6 spawn, they stop. So you do have to kind of think you might want to place them every other space, right? And so this middle one here, if I were to go 9 wide, I would kill the middle one. That way, any mob spawner can't detect more than 5. Now the question is, are they falling fast enough to get out of range of detection? It's close, that's for sure. So while the traditional version here, like I said, these guys are all just hanging out looking at each other. Here, I'm just collecting more iron than I know what to do with. And so again, I'd love to see, pictures of your creative designs with these, whether you do it by water, by piston, whether you do it by, some type of piston pushing flying machine. That would be awesome to see. So anyways, guys, real short tutorial here today. However, I think you get the gist. I love these things. These are really just incredible tools that you can have. And what's cool is, again, you can make any type of electric spawner. So the one downside to the electric spawners is you have to have the mob type set beforehand. Using a mob Aeonum will not change them. So you do need to change them while they're at the reinforced, or like I said, if you're using soul jars, you're creating the type that you want anyways. So then, guys, we're going to wrap this up. Thanks so much for watching again. As always, don't forget, when you're playing Slimefun, you got to go boomer or you got to go home. Man, I'm going to have to kill all these guys. Guess I didn't think about that. We'll see you later.